What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance Crew, and you are watching DaVinci Reacts. Today I'm going to be getting into a video that is actually interesting because I did a reaction to Eddie Murphy's acceptance of the Mark Twain Prize Award. And that was the first time I ever really heard about this award ceremony. So it surprised me when I learned that Dave Chappelle also had won it just recently. I'm not sure why they're recently winning it. It seems like something that they should have won a long time ago, but I don't know what the criteria for the award is exactly, so I'm not going to make a full-on judgment. But what I will do is I'll do a reaction to this acceptance speech that Dave Chappelle gave for winning that award. Now, this video was uploaded by the Kennedy Center. I will have a link for their channel at the end of this video, so the last 30 seconds, click on it, it'll take you to their channel. You can watch their other videos. They have a lot of other comedians and entertainers that are paying respects to Dave Chappelle. You know how I'm guessing this is kind of like a lifetime achievement award in a way. So they have a lot of artists and entertainers just giving stories about Dave Chappelle and things like that before he goes up and gets his acceptance speech. So if you want to see those, go to their channel, and I will have a link for the original video in the description box also. If you want to show them some support, be sure to check that out. Click on the video, have it playing in the background or something. That way the video will still get a view, and you can watch this while that's happening too. So let's go ahead and jump into this and see what it has to offer.
Thank you. Thank you. I like not knowing what's going to happen. I like making memories. Sometimes I do all this crazy around my colleagues just so that they can tell their friends I did it. But rather than talk about myself,
I think that's his wife.
Just briefly,
First time I've ever actually seen her.
Just talk about my genre. Stand-up comedy is an incredibly American genre. I don't think any other country could produce this many comedians. And unbeknownst to many people in this audience, I don't think there's opinion that it exists in this country that is not represented in a comedy club by somebody. Each and every one of you has a champion in the room. We watch you guys fight, but when we're together, we talk it out. I know comics that are very racist, and I watch them on stage, and everyone's laughing, and I'm like, that mother means that. Don't get mad at them, don't hate them. We go upstairs and have a beer, and sometimes I even appreciate the artistry that they paint their racist opinions with. Man, it's not that serious. The First Amendment is first for a reason. The Second Amendment is just in case the first one doesn't work out. We gotta let some air out of the ball, man. The country's getting a little tight. It doesn't feel like it's ever felt in my lifetime. So tonight, I am honored that my colleagues are here in comedy and in music. And I want everyone in America right now to look at me. Look at me smoking indoors.
Dave has been about this smoking thing ever since the Chappelle show. Like, I'm sure you guys are aware that Michael Bloomberg is attempting to run for president of the United States right now. Well, I can guarantee you Dave Chappelle is not going to be one of the people that vote for him. I can tell you that right now.
I didn't ask anybody. I just did it. What are they going to do? Kick me out before I get the prize? No, nigga, this is called leverage. The thing that I liked best about tonight was that I saw so many people from different parts of my life, like friends that I grew up with here in DC, friends of mine from Ohio then and now, friends of mine from comedy clubs, all the musicians that blew my mind. You guys have no idea how you inspired me. I want to give a special shout out to my OG, Tony Woods. Miles Davis has a quote. It's one of my favorite. Miles Davis said so much cool shit, but one of the things he said I always loved, he said, it took me years to learn how to play like myself. You know, he would watch other musicians and he would try to play like Dizzy or Bird or all the guys who were great. Tony Woods was my Dizzy and Bird if I was a Miles. I was trying to play like you. You were the first person I ever saw do it absolutely right.
That is 1000% true. Like, that goes with just about anything, whether it's music, sports, even YouTube. It takes a minute for you to not only get comfortable being yourself, but in a way finding who you are. Because when you start off, you don't really know exactly what success is, how, like, what the roadmap to success really looks like. So you follow someone that actually took that road and succeeded. So you start off looking and acting and doing whatever you do exactly like whoever you look up to. And then after a while, you start to see, okay, well, this is what I can do to get more successful in this area. This is what I can do to get more successful in this area. And so you start to find your own paths and avenues to branch out and become your own person. Or at least that's what you're supposed to do. Some people will just ride that copycat road until the wheels fall off. But I mean, I know when I started doing reactions, like, I looked up to people like Tyrone Magnus, Blasphemous HD, Chavez Slovakia, and in particular Tyrone Magnus. I was really trying to be a lot like him. And even now, I'm not even sure if I'm fully myself, because I have a lot of limitations that keep me back from, like, or held me back from doing what I really want to do on YouTube, like making cartoons and putting more edits in my videos, things like that. Like, I really want to get into that. Once I have the resources to do it, my channel will change. But getting started, Tyrone Magnus helped me a lot with becoming the YouTuber that I am right now. So yeah, I understand 100% with what he's trying to say right here.
You were fearless and you told the truth. There's something so true about this genre, when done correctly, that I will fight anybody that gets a true practitioner of this art form's way, because I know you're wrong. This is the truth, and you are obstructing it. I'm not talking about the content, I'm talking about the art form. Do you understand? Do we have an agreement? And what I really wanted to say tonight, and I'm glad I get the platform to do it, I'm gay. I am gay, and I can't wait to see what this does for my career, being gay like this. So many special shout outs. One of the main architects of the comeback of the century, my brother and my mentor, the mighty Stan Lathan. I never dreamed that I would be able to work with someone as great as you. These last 5 specials, straight fire. I wouldn't want to do another special with anybody else but you. So eat your mother vegetables and live as long as you can, because we doing a few more of these bitches. Neil Brennan, your speech made me cry, because it reminded me of all those hard days of work and all that money I never got for it. The other real special shout out I gotta make, because none of this would have been possible on any level without this person, is my mother. Mom. My mother. Mom. You have no idea what I put this woman through. If you had just given birth to me, that would have been more than enough. But the fact that she raised me and raised me well. We had a real oral tradition in our house. I knew the word griot when I was a little boy. A griot was a person in Africa who's charged with keeping the stories of the village. Everyone would tell a griot the stories, and they would remember them all so that they could tell future generations. And when they got old, they'd tell them to someone else. And they say in Africa, when a griot dies, it's like a library was burnt down. And my mother used to tell me, before I ever thought about doing comedy, she said, you should be a griot. And she'd fill me with every story of black life. You know, she's educated in African-American studies, and she would let me understand the context that I was being raised in, that I'm being raised in a hostile environment that I have to tame. By the time I was 14 years old, I was in nightclubs, mastering an adult world. It was terrifying. The crack epidemic was going on, and my mother would hear gunshots outside and be scared to death. Maybe it's my son. But early in my career, if you remember, Mom, you used to sit in the club with me. She'd do a full day of work. You'd be back there falling asleep, just waiting for me to go on. She would watch my show every night. Do you know how long that car ride is home?
Wow.
How many of you have ever heard your mother say, jokes were a little too much tonight, son? I was a soft kid. I was sensitive, I'd cry easy, and I would be scared to fist fight. And my mother used to tell me this thing, I don't even know if you remember, but you said this to me more than once. You said, son, sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb you really are. I talk this like a lion. I'm not afraid of any of you. When it comes word to word, I will gab with the best of them, just so I can chill and be me. And that's why I love my art form, because I understand every practitioner of it. Whether I agree with them or not, I know where they're coming from. They want to be heard. They got something to say. There's something they notice. They just want to be understood. Love this genre. It saved my life. So tonight, Mom, I would like to honor you in a very special way that I cannot do on my own. But because now I'm a man with great and influential friends, I'd like to ask my man Thundercat to come out on the stage. Thundercat, the Mighty Most Def. Washington, D.C., thank you very much for giving me a home and a place to start. Today is officially Dave Chappelle Day in Washington, D.C. The mayor declared it last night.
Oh, is that real? Wow.
So, in the future, on Dave Chappelle Day, I ask everyone who wishes to celebrate it to make one incredible memory for themselves and or somebody else. Thank you very much. Good night.
Hey, that is great. That is greatness right there. And again, like, comedians are for the most part, are the truth sayers of our communities. Like growing up, I honestly didn't read any books. To this day, I still don't really read books. I really don't have the patience to sit down and read a book. But everything about me as far as my open-mindedness stems from comedians. Like, whether it was music or movies or like the people around you or whatever else, the people that I got the most information and the most knowledge from were comedians. Like, the way that they would see the world, like, you would listen to a bunch of comedians. Each person had their own perspectives and things like that. So you would listen to them and you would pick up ideas from one side or another side. And because of the way it was delivered, it was never hostile. It never felt like they were preaching to you. It never felt like they were like looking down on you in any way. So it's easier to like absorb that information that they're trying to say. And because of that, it's what started myself down a road towards like open-mindedness. Like, I don't have any reason to shut somebody out because of the way they might see something, because I'm not in their shoes. I don't know exactly where they're coming from. Only they can really speak on it, and they might have experiences that I just flat out cannot understand, and that's okay. Nowadays, I feel like we're in a period where I don't want to say freedom of speech is under attack. It's just that people have this idea that if you don't accept what I have to say or my way of looking at something, then that automatically makes you a bad person, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. I'm going to shut you out. I'm going to go around and tell people to shut you out, and we're going to try to make you an outcast in the community. And it's like, first of all, that's not how you're going to get somebody on your side, because there's an old saying that says that, I don't know if it's an old normal saying or if I got it from a movie, but everybody is, or not everybody. It's like even a hero. Well, if you're a hero, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain. And with that, it's like you can be a part of a specific group of people or whatever else, and you could be kicking it, y'all could be having fun, you could be talking, and y'all can agree on every single thing. But eventually, you're going to get to a point where you're going to say something that they don't agree with. And in this world we live in now, it's like as soon as you say that thing that they don't agree with, now all of a sudden you're the villain. Now it's like everything that you agree with in the past is irrelevant and everything is thrown out. Now you're this hateful, evil idiot that doesn't understand how life works and this, that, and the other. And either they're going to cancel you or they're going to throw you into a specific category like a snowflake or like a sexist or a misogynist or a libtard or a conservateur or whatever the hell people like to say. And it kills any type of discussion that we might have. Like, the only way to really become better as a society is to sit down and have conversations with each other. And nowadays people don't want to do that. Like, you know somebody that is stuck in their ways and just flat out will never change. Like, you know someone, or you know what that looks like. But there's a lot of people that it's like they're impatient. They can't wait to see what that looks like, so they'll just deny any type of interaction with someone as soon as they have the first disagreement. Understanding that somebody is stuck in their ways takes more than just one issue or one discussion or one topic. This is something that you learn over discussion after discussion after discussion after discussion, being presented with like objective evidence and demonstrable claims and like things like that, like over and over and over again. Someone that just flat out will not budge. That's when you go, all right, you know what? We'll just agree to disagree. You have your ways of seeing things. I have my ways of seeing things. Maybe in the future, something will happen where the light finally clicks and they understand it. But we need to get out of this idea we have where like people just won't change and they're just forever lost. And you just want to turn your back on people simply because they don't want to agree with you on one particular thing. And it's like, it's enough to make me pull my hair out. Like, I hate it. Like, I hate the situation we're in now. Like, people just associate everybody with groups, and there's this tribalistic groupthink and things like that, and it's just so annoying. Like, I did a reaction recently to the Ricky Gervais Golden Globes 2020, and it's one of my most popular videos. But a lot of people in the comment section, like, first of all, I agree with everything that Ricky said. Everything that Ricky said. But the thing is, because I agree with that, there's a lot of people that think that, like, I might be conservative. Like, they think that, oh, well, you know, that's right. That's what these liberals or these communists or whatever deserve. And it's like, no, I'm living proof that not everybody on a particular side thinks a certain way. Like, there are some things I lean certain ways about. There are certain things I lean other ways about. If I have a conversation with you, I'm going to ask you specifically about what issues you feel about, you know, or what way you lean on certain issues. If you lean a particular way on one issue, I'm not going to automatically judge and assume, oh, well, you're this type of person and I don't want anything to do with you because I'm assuming that you have a similar issue with the stereotypical people on that side on other issues. It's like, no. They could very well not have that opinion. And even if they do, you have to understand why they have that opinion. Some people might actually be convinced of what they believe. Some people might just be misinformed. Some people, you know, might know something that you don't. The truth doesn't give a damn about, and I know I'm about to quote Ben Shapiro or whatever, or fuck that. He hasn't been saying it. I've been saying this before I knew who Ben Shapiro was. The truth doesn't give a damn about how you feel about it. The truth is the truth. It's not going to be skewered to your own personal perspectives or your own opinions or whatever else. It's just the flat out truth. Like when people make arguments and stuff like that nowadays, it's like they can't accept truth. Like I am somebody that, well, I guess you could say vote Democrat. I don't like to identify myself as a Democrat because to me, Democrats are weak as fuck. I hate listening to arguments from Democrats because they always compromise and just it reminds me of Rick and Morty with the dad, and they went to the alien marriage counselor, and they had the little makeshift thing that sucked out the image of how you saw your significant other, and the dad was like this sniveling worm that just would always just let people have their way with him. And it's like, that's how I see a lot of, well, I take that back, a lot of corporate Democrats. That's how I see a lot of them. Like they just compromise and they're just afraid to fight. And I identify personally as independent, but the only reason why I vote usually Democrat is because of the primaries. You can't really vote in the primary if you're not identified as either a Republican or a Democrat. There have been times I voted for Republicans. There have been times that I voted for Libertarians. There have been times I voted for the Green Party. There have been, like, it depends on the issue. But where the hell was I going with this? I talked about it so long I kind of forgot what I was about to say. But the bottom line is, just because someone has an opinion on one particular thing doesn't mean that you know everything about the person. It's very possible they might lean a certain way. Like I said, people in the comment section on the Ricky Gervais video, they assume that I go a certain way simply because I agree with what Ricky said. And very much, I am a lot like Ricky Gervais. Like everything he said, he meant, and I felt was the truth also. But if you also know Ricky Gervais, he's somebody himself that leans to the left. That is exactly how I am. Like, I have my own personal beliefs, but at the same time, my personal beliefs aren't things that I want to put on somebody else. My motto in life is, as long as if what you want to do with your life doesn't interfere with somebody else's life or harms anybody else or yourself in the process, then by all means you should be allowed to do it. I don't have an opinion on whatever you do with your personal life. Like, you can do whatever you want with your personal life. Like I said, as long as it doesn't get in the way of me living my life or anyone else living their life, and as long as if it doesn't hurt anybody, I don't have an issue. And I personally, I feel everybody should have that opinion. But even with that, it's like, you know, maybe you have your reasons for believing certain things. I like to sit and listen to it and understand who you are as a person. But, you know, we need to, particularly on Twitter, I hate reading tweets because, like, just the way people talk, and it's like somebody will say something, then when presented with an actual argument, they'll just dismiss, like, okay, whatever. Okay, if you're not willing to have a discussion, why even comment on it? Like, you already have made up your mind about something. You've been presented with evidence, facts, or even just another way of thinking about it, but then you just, like, completely throw it away and dismiss it because, like, you don't have an argument for it, but you don't want to change the way you think. So instead of doing the honest thing and just being like, you know what, you're right about that. Now, I still believe what I believe, but you made a good point. Instead of doing that, it's like people just can't accept that somebody said something that, you know, makes sense. It's like you're just so headstrong. It's just like, you know what? Even though you made sense, I don't care. I'm going to dismiss it because I'm going to believe what I want to believe, and I don't care what you have to say at this point. It's like, well, that's not how you're going to get to the truth. That's not how you're going to get to a proper solution. But anyway, I've talked about this enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the future. Be in the comment section. Let me know what you think about anything I just said or the video in particular. Dave Chappelle has always been a very insightful person, despite how some people might see his comedy as crash. or crude or whatever the hell else. The dude has always been honest with himself, and one of the biggest things I can respect about Dave Chappelle is when he walked away from the money and for his third season for the Chappelle Show. That showed a lot of integrity. It showed that he was somebody that couldn't be bought, or at least his like principles could not be bought. We need more people like that, and let me know what you think about everything in the comment section. I look forward to seeing you guys in a future video. Until then, I'm Devon DaVinci. Hopefully, you've just been a little bit more enlightened. I'm gonna give you the deuces, and I'll see you later. Deuces.